and welcome to this week's episode of Unwanted Parenting Advice. This week we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Rather than me giving you parenting advice, I ask you for yours, the best and the worst of the unwanted parenting advice that you have received over the years. So get ready, because here comes some unwanted parenting advice. So I want to start by thanking you, because when I did the call out originally to be like, hey, what kind of parenting advice are you guys giving and getting? I think I had over 60 responses, which was really lovely. And some of them made me laugh, some of them made me cringe, some of them made me feel sick to my stomach, because the range of advice that we get on a day-to-day basis, starting all the way in pregnancy, is pretty intense. And I started to notice a few themes when I looked at all of the advice that y'all had been given. The same piece of advice can be thought of by some as very supportive, very cathartic, and for somebody else that piece of advice could be considered very intrusive, or like you don't want to hear it. And so I think some of the examples of this were around sleep. So some people felt that being told, just sleep when the baby sleeps was fantastic. It gave them permission to just give in. They didn't have to do anything else other than be in the moment with their baby. Whereas others of you laugh that off. You're like, yeah, right, I would sleep if the baby slept, but the baby doesn't sleep, or I can't nap during the day, or whatever reason you found that to be a challenge. Under the category of best advice, the major theme that I noticed is that any advice where you were given permission to relax, given permission to get help, given permission to be okay, not being okay, seemed to really resonate with all of you. So we heard things like, listen to everybody casually, but do what you want and do what's right for your baby. That was a big one, that theme. My mom told me that I am the best parent for my baby, not anyone else. You are actually the decision maker. Every baby's different, every mom is different, and yes, you can put the baby down even if they're crying, despite being told otherwise, maybe at some point. And finally, from a friend, an experienced mom of 3 to me with my first, if you didn't have bad days, then I'd be worried. So lots of great permission giving, lots of great normalizing. So if for whatever reason you are in a situation where you're like, I'm going to impart some parenting advice from me to you, you want to keep it in that bucket, okay? Giving lots of permission, lots of solidarity. The second theme was around the worst advice, and I couldn't believe some of the advice that y'all had been given over the years. But the major themes around this is that we don't love it when we get advice that's basically bossing us around. So telling us what to do, how to raise our children, largely based on experience. So comments like, your baby is cold, he or she needs a hat or a coat or a snowsuit, said every old woman ever. And things like, love this. Oh, my son used to sleep well with a blanket over his face, so you should try that, said to the parent of a 2-month-old. And you also really hated to get any advice that dismissed your struggle, right? The challenge, the struggle of parenting. And I think that one of the comments that got the most likes, the most sort of feedback, was this one, and man, does this ever resonate with me. Anytime you say anything that isn't 100% positive and they come back with, well, that's just part of parenting. And then there's some explicits that I won't share right now. So that's it for how to give parenting advice. We want to stay with, yes, you're doing okay, you're doing a great job, you know your baby best. We want to stay away from, this is how I did it and this is how you should do it, and anything that dismisses just how tough the day-to-day can be. So I hope you had fun learning a little bit about the best and the worst of parenting advice, and I will see you next week right here on Unwanted Parenting Advice. If you want to learn more, please feel free to check out my website. It'll be linked at the bottom of this video, and my email as well. You can always reach out. If you want to give me some more unwanted parenting advice, I'm here to hear it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.